found another one. Such a good boy.
Two more, Cooper.
Two more.
Oh, two more.
Two more. Come on. He's a good boy. Sage. One more. Getting closer. Warm up. Yay! Well done! Well done!
He's like, where's Mum?
Hey! Good morning all. So I'm going to be doing some cooking lessons, and happy Easter to everyone in Southern Africa and the rest of the world in that fact. So yeah, as you saw in the beginning of the movie video thing, I was dying. That was because I did my first Swift race, but enough about that. Here we go, here's the cooking. We're starting now. Alright, so because there's not a lot of cycling going on, this is going to be a little bit of a chef show from a cyclist. So today we're actually making a simple one. We're making toasted sandwiches. So first what we're going to do is we're going to want to cut the cheese with some nice sharp knives. 1, 2. Okay, and go back to normal. Alright, so we've cut our cheese now. What I always like to do, just as a ease of things, as soon as I use something, I push it away. So cheese going back in the fridge. There we go. Alright, and just as I say it, we want mayonnaise on it as well. Alright, so we're now moving on to our bread. Bearing in mind, it's bread. Right, so what we're going to do here, because it's been in the fridge, obviously with the lockdown you need to make stuff last a little bit longer. Some of the pieces are going to be frozen. Probably because my fridge is a little bit too high, but oh well. So, I'm making 3 sandwiches here. The other part, like I say, put it away after use. Okay, so got some good country spread here from Stork. Beautiful knife set, not the proper knife. Nice knife. So we're gonna butter every single piece. Beautiful. Okay. Okay, so we've buttered our breads. What we're going to do now is we're just going to layer the cheese, obviously only on the one side, because we are in the rationing stage. There we go. So it's that. Oh, lovely. Nice. Okay. Alright, so we've put the butter on, we've put the cheese on. And now we just put in some ham on chevrons, some chicken smoked ham on chevron sandwich. Because obviously I'm not going to be eating that. And then just on hers, just to show you guys quickly what I'm going to be doing to the rest, just putting some mayo on, just to top it all off. Because you know you want that a little bit of creaminess from the mayo and a little bit of tang. So yeah, I'm going to put on some mayo on mine, and then we're going to push it in the oven. Checking out. Okay, so like I said, we've just put the mayo on and everything, and as you can see it's all cleaned up nicely except for this. Let me just put this So what we're going to do, I'm going to bring a pan over here. We've already preheated the oven to 150 degrees Celsius on both levels working. So there we go. I don't know if you can see this, but this is just fabulous works of art over here. Everything with regard to food is work of art. So as I place this in, I just want to go over some of the things. So now we just basically wait for the bread to be nicely browned and the cheese to be melted on my side, and then also a little bit of cheese melted on Siobhan's side. But yeah, the funny thing is, like, I don't understand why people are buying so much toilet paper. Like, I clearly don't understand. The shops always have toilet paper, and you know it's gonna go to waste. So I don't understand that concept. But yeah, I'm just really excited. So I'm really excited for me to show you what's gonna be going on my day today for Easter, because there's going to be a little bit of so this is now lunch, and then there's going to be a little bit of more cooking done for dinner, so we'll check you later. Right, so the toasties have now browned nicely and the cheese has just started to melt, which is the perfect perfection to get that long stringy effect once you cut it open and go for the bite. So I'm just going to get them out the oven. Just going to switch everything off here. Okay. Oh, lovely, lovely stuff. There's it, as you can see. Alright, so like I said, I've just taken them out the oven now, and they're nice and golden brown on top. So I'm just going to ask the cameraman just to come in a little bit, just to get a view on this cutting here. The normal is a triangle, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to be a little bit adventurous here. Oh. Hope you have headphones on just to hear that crunch. This is Siobhan's. Beautiful. Okay, so that is lunch. We shall be back for dinner, but yeah, cheers for now. Good evening all. So we're back. So for dinner, I'm going to start preparation a little bit early because I do want to eat at the correct time, and some of the stuff does take quite a while. So I'm just checking today. We're having some vegetarian chicken schnitzel, chips, and veg, and roast potatoes. Wow. Okay. So just to save myself a little bit of time, I did peel the potatoes in the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop them up. This is obviously the longest part of the process. So this is for the roast potatoes. I'm just trying to get majority of the skin off that I couldn't take off with the potato peeler. And what I'm going to do is I'm obviously going to do this to all of them. So for me it might take some time, but for you it'll be within the next 5 seconds. So yeah. Alright, so I just cut up the potatoes and everything, as you can see. That was just to save you guys a little bit of time. And what you want to try to do is cut it up into like these little wedge shapes. These are perfect. Like if this was cooked, I'd eat it right now because it's just so perfect. So I've got a bowl here that I'm going to bring to the boil while this is in it. And that's just purely because I want to cook the outsides and not the whole potato, because the whole baking and cooking process is going to happen inside the oven. So what I'm going to do now, like such, I'm going to take some potatoes, and I'm doing nothing special. just putting the potatoes in the pot of water. And the reason why I'm doing this by hand and not just say taking the chopping board is because this thing is quite heavy. So yeah, here we go. You want to be gentle with them. You don't just want to chuck them in. I mean, would you chuck your child in the pool? Maybe of a suitable age, but not when it's young, not when it's in baby form. So there we go. There's the last of it over there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to grab a little bit of salt. Not too much salt, just a little bit. But I'm pretty sure everyone knows of this. Just to put a little bit of salt in the pot while it is cooking. It's just to bring a little flavour. Alright, some salt in there. Beautiful. Okay, so while we have that going, I've also put the oven on, just so it can cook and warm up, getting ready for the whole process over here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a little bit of oil in the pan that I'm going to be using for the roast potatoes. Not too much, but enough just to cover the base. And it is quite a big pan, so it kind of cancels out with it just about not too much. But sure. So once all of this is going, I'm just going to bring it down to a simmer for 8 to 9 minutes, and once that simmer begins, I'm going to put the tray in for 10 minutes just to get a nice little glycerin simmer. And then after that period of time, we shall be joined once again. Alright, so it's been about 10-11 minutes since the potatoes have started simmering. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to empty it into the colander. And I'm going to tell you now, precious, precious. Okay, so I'm going to use the same bowl for the vegetables. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to toss them. Alright, and this is just to make the like rough up the edges a little bit, so that when it goes into the oven, the oil goes into the edges and makes it nice and crunchy and fluffy. So, like I said, I'm just going to toss them now, like such. You actually can't really see what I'm doing, but it's okay. I'll just narrate as I'm going along. So yeah, what that boiling did, it actually didn't, yeah.
How's that going for you?
Okay, so it didn't cook then, like I said, but it just got the outsides going. Alright, so safety first. Okay, so I'm bringing the, excuse the smoke, nothing's burning. I'm bringing the hot oil out. This is always fun, dealing with hot oil. Yeah, you can just hear it. Like it's danger out there, but anyway. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to put this back in the same bowl. Actually, no, it's not leaking too much. Maybe I can get away with this and someone else can clean it up for me. Okay. Here we go. Actually, we can do it like that. Beautiful. Now I present to you. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to, yeah, it's piping hot. We're going to put the potatoes in the piping hot oil. Like such. Probably probably can't even see anything, but it does look good.
Okay.
Sure. Who says I can't cook? Probably no one, but
Exactly.
okay. So you can actually, hopefully you can see what I'm going to do. Let me just bring one of the potatoes up and close to the camera here. So you can see that the edges are just slightly roughed up from the, I have no idea what that's from, that's quite worrying. From the tossing of the colander. So yeah, last couple of potatoes here. So that's, just chuck them in, because they're starting to grow now, so just chuck them. And most important part, ladies and gentlemen, most important part, is make sure that they are fully coated with oil. Every single one. This is just so that while it's in the oven, it does get grilled, or as we say, baked inside on both sides. So like I'm just doing here, it's just like a rough coating, nothing too special about it. No need to go into every single part individually. You can just pick up a group of them and chuck them over. Yeah, so that's them covered in oil. Okay, so what's going to happen now is I'm going to put it in the oven for about half an hour, and then after that I'm going to turn it again for the last 15 minutes. But during that period I am going to be going in and out for the vegetarian chicken schnitzel, which I will show you, and I shall be doing the vegetables as well. I just realized I said chips, but it's chips and potatoes, so it's like having potatoes with potatoes, so that's quite silly. So it's just going to be roast potatoes, vegetables, and more vegetables disguised as chicken schnitzel. So yeah, we shall tune in then and check in out. Alright, and we're back. So these are the meat-free 4 golden crowned chicken schnitzels. So this is what they look like. Some people not really appetizing. That didn't work at all. Okay, so it's been about half an hour since I've put the potatoes in. So I'm just prepping these just to go straight in the oven with the potatoes. Yeah, so actually I've got a second pan here that this can go on. No oil, no needed, nothing, so it's very, very healthy. So these take about 10 to 12 minutes to be done, but obviously with something else in the oven, it might take a touch longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the potatoes out again, turn them again for the last 15 minutes, and then push these two in together so that it is done at the same time. So here we go. Like I said, safety first. Oh, and these are absolutely prime. There's it. What an absolute pleasure. So let me just keep these on my left hand so that I can... Siobhan.
Apologies.
Okay, so this is where you have to know if you've turned them or not, because obviously if you cook the same side it's not going to be golden brown. So luckily these are like golden brown on the bottom. Oh, these are absolutely precious. I can taste them now, but I'm not going to. There we go. Okay, and again, the ones that aren't really golden brown, you don't have to worry too much about, so you can just literally just turn them. As we can hear, the olive oil has cooled down a little bit, so I do have some leeway if I do get burnt. Alright. Oh, these are just superb. I'm just gonna turn the last couple here. I think that's all of them. You can actually see what has oil on and what doesn't. So obviously the ones that don't have oil on haven't been turned yet. Let me just bring this one close up to the... Look at that. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we want from roast potatoes. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, just returning now from an ad. So we're gonna push this back in again. As always, safety first. Okay, that's for the last 15 minutes, and we've got our chicken schnitzels going in as well. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And on the rise, I've got the water going for the vegetables, so I'm just going to get them out at the moment. There we go. So we've got some mixed vegetables. Super excited about this. And actually just thinking about it now, I've got a little bit of a treat to add to this. Okay. I think that's enough vegetables. I'm just going to close this up again. I'm going to put it back in the freezer. Alright, so while everything's going, while everything's starting to cook and get ready, you know, Sammy's all starting to get a little bit hungry, we've actually got some creamy cheese veggie baked sauce here. So this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this into a little bit of a microwavable container, as such, and then I'm going to just boil the kettle and put it in here and then push it in the microwave just to get a little bit of cream going, especially for the vegetables, so it's not bland. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is about that time when you are almost finished with the meal. So I'm just going to run through the ingredients that I'm going to use to top the roast potatoes. So I'm just going to be using some Himalayan salt, a little bit of garlic, any old garlic, and a little bit of thyme, because it takes some time to do it. But sure, so here we go. Oh, and if you could see, you're going to see, but if you could smell, I could grab these by themselves. So the chicken schnitzels are taking a touch longer than I thought they would, but you know what? As I said in the beginning of the video, it's a work of art. So these have now become golden brown. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some thyme to spread the thyme like that. Beautiful. Oh, lovely. Okay. Now there's two ways of doing this. You can grind and put it into the cap, which is a little bit more messy, or take the cap off and go all over with the Himalayan salt. Now just every crunch brings more goodness to the meal. Yes, that is a lot. Oh, Himalayan salt is lovely. There is quite a bit, but that's because I need to get both sides. And then this is a little bit of an optional choice, but I always feel that garlic comes into its own, especially like as you grow older. You don't initially like the smell and taste of garlic, but my word, does it work well with potatoes and any other dish that you can think of right now. So I'm just going to grab a teaspoon. Like I said, the vegetables are just cooking here, or just chilling here, while everything else is just getting ready. But I have dewatered it, as some say. There we go. So I'm just going to take a little bit of garlic. And as some people say, there's not going to be any mosquitoes tonight. Beautiful. There's it. Lovely. Oh, look at that. Wow. Okay. There we go. Lovely. Alright, so I think it might be need a little bit. Just in the middle there. Beautiful. Okay. Last and final step. Just close this off here. Last step. What we're going to do, is this pan still hot? It's okay. We're just going to mix it around. That's all we're going to do. Just get juices flowing, you know. Oh, make them a little bit more oily. Lovely. Just to make sure that every single roast potato, all sides are covered in seasoning and tastes fabulous. Beautiful. Okay, and we'll check in again once everything is complete and it's time to plate up. Alright, so now it's my time, my favorite time, the plate up time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put, let's put up the chicken schnitzels. They've actually turned out perfect. And that is just the sauce telling me that it's done. Next I'm going to put some veggies. Veggies with my veggies, as people say. Beautiful. Oh, I'm so excited for this. Look at that. That is absolutely pristine right there. Tell me which restaurant you can get this at. Don't tell me. Alright, then next we're going to go with some roast potatoes. I would say that these are actually the star of the show. Here we go. I know Siobhan is watching me with a bird's eye, just to make sure that I don't take all the good ones.
Pretty much.
Alright. Grab some in the corner there. Beautiful. Siobhan, is that okay? Right, no response is a big response.
He took all the nice ones.
Alright, there we go. Here's a little sauce. I'm just going to plate this all over the veggies. Oh, look at that. That, ladies and gentlemen, is lasagna. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a perfect Easter dish to spend in lockdown. Although it's not extravagant, we've tried to spruce it up a little bit.
Can you give me what I need? Just give